Acrobatic Silky. There are two words to describe her: hair and quads. When I said quads, I mean one good kick from this lady, you'll be flying across the room. And when I said hair, I mean she can control it like a goddamn whip and whoop your ass. And if you think it will hurt, oh, it will. Unless you're nasty like me, in which case I'll keep asking for more. Oh, eat me, mommy? She can also use her hair to swing around or bind enemies. Oh, and Acro Silky is highly flexible. I mean, she's an acrobat for Christ's sake, and her evasion is top tier. Even my dad calls and asks for tips. Now, when Aira Shiratori got Acro Silky's power, she also had the quads and the hair, but we see her with some other tricks that we didn't see with Silky. She can also morph into drills that basically have max armor penetration. When she's in trouble, Aira can wrap her hair around herself to create a protective dome. But she's not. Aira's movements got slowed down if she's hit with crowd control like Serpo's psychokinesis, or if she's stuck in a bad terrain, like the illusionary battlefield. If enemies overwhelm her with attacks, she's forced to stay on defensive, struggling to find an opening to strike back. But what's even broken is Reiko Kashima. And this yokai is so OP that no one, and I mean no one, can defeat her. She uses mirrors or glass shards as portals to attack from a distance, sending her hands through any nearby glass to grab or hit enemies. She even took down a massive spaceship by using all the glass in the city and punched right through it. Reiko can also trap peoples inside her mirror by catching their reflection, turning into a pocket dimension where she controls everything. She can even trap entire armies with this power and beat the heck out of them inside it. The only way out? You'll have to outsmart her. Block her reflection and butter her up with some cute moves, and she'll be annoyed because she can't see herself. If a target looks in the mirror, Reiko can possess them through their reflection, but she needs her mirror near her target to stay in control, and if it gets taken, the possession breaks. Another interesting is that Reiko's mirror lets her peek into people's heart, reading their emotions. She combines this with her ability to perfectly copy anyone's voice, tricking people into thinking they're talking to a friend. Like she almost fooled Momo by mimicking Okarun's voice, but slipped up by calling Jiji the wrong name. And if you think Reiko is a weird spirit lady, she can actually be really pretty with the help of a makeup. Not gonna lie, I'll personally stick my fucking cock there. Oh shit, I mean, would date her like a gentleman if there's a makeup on. Unlike this abomination, this creature is called Big Mama. Not that mama, this mama. She doesn't create babies, but instead, she creates overpowered exosuit by consuming a large number of living things. Yeah, I thought that Attack on Titans was messed up, but this shit is way messed up. And keep in mind that it's not just about how much she eats. It's about what she eats. The stronger and more unique the life form, the more powerful the suit. In some cases, the emotions of beings being consumed can even affect the suit's form. Take Bamora's exosuit for example. It ended up looking like her people's god because they keep believing even when they were getting devoured. But not all the ladies in Dandadan look like that. Especially this grandmama, Seiko Ayase. Yeah, she's a grandma, and I don't know if this makes me weird, but she's a goddamn gilf, bro. Think about it. But aside from being hot, she got insane strength, speed, and brains. And she can see spirits and yokai, which is why she knows everything about them. How to see them, fight them, and protect herself from them. Seiko can also borrow powers from the gods. She can tap into the gods in her region using their powers to pull off some insane moves. One of these is her mystical barrier. She can trap and exorcise evil spirits by setting up a barrier with her charmed nails. The barrier burns the spirit into ash. Her barrier isn't just for defense, though she can use it offensively too, like when she threw a barrier-activated brick to Turbo Granny, lighting the yokai on fire. She's also got the power of words. By putting real conviction behind what she says, she can literally change reality once she shouted Nessie while swinging her bat and sent a sandbag flying just by channeling the word's power. Just like her grandma, Momo sees spirits and yokai. She also unlocked her ki after being abducted by Serpo. I know you nasty motherfreaker like this scene. Momo can also control both living and non-living things, using two massive energy hands. She can lift anything, cars, yokai, whatever. She's a portable forklift, I would say. But Momo's power isn't invincible. If something's strong enough to resist her grip, she might struggle to hold on, while her psychic hands can be destroyed if it hits hard enough, causing her to feel real pain. One of the coolest thing about Momo is her power of words. Yeah, Inumaki curse speech again. Whatever she says with enough conviction becomes reality. She even developed a super move called
Moe Moe Iko!
a heart-shaped blast attack. That's what I say, an epic move. Next is Rin Sawaki. She's a really good singer, and after she merges with Mai, her best friend who become a yokai, she transforms into an idol but with a turtle shell on her back. And when this girl sings, she gets the power to control gravity. Like she can make anything and anyone float, moving around or crush anything just by singing. But there's only one way to defeat her. If someone stops her from singing or clog her mouth, she will lose her power. Yet, the crazy thing is, Rin actually has the power to blow the world. And my world as well. Gotcha, girl! Then we have a girl, Bamora. She fights in a giant exosuit that looks like Godzilla. This suit can grow up to 45 meters tall, which is almost as tall as the Statue of Liberty without a pedestal. Or if you're shot in like me, it's as tall as 29 anime body pillows stockpiling on top of each other vertically. This suit also boosts Bamora's strength, and it's so strong that even in its normal form, Bamora easily punches a bear out of the way. It's super tough too. It tanked full force hit from a multi-enemies, and even after taking a massive power bomb that made a crater, it barely had a scratch. Well, except for the hoods. What's even crazier is that this suit can turn invisible, perfect for sneaking up on enemies or making a quick escape. She can even hide allies inside it. And the suit can also scan and mimic any outfit. She's used this to blend in by wearing a school uniform, which is perfect for going unnoticed. The suit also has a slaughter mode, which makes it even more terrifying, and most attacks don't even work against it. Now, aside from this OP exosuit, there's also a Nanoskin. It's basically a material that can regenerate and reshape itself based on whatever the user is imagining. Like this nerd, Kinta Sakata, when bro got his hands on Nanoskin, he didn't just create a mecha, he made a god mecha known as the Great Kinta Bodhisattva. Yeah, that. And this is the second form, by the way. So how did this nerd teenager even control it? Kinta figured out that controlling the mecha was all about visualized movements. And with that, he went up against Bamora's Godzilla suit. And of course, he gives his moves some epic names, like Blazing Wind Seikenzuki Punch, Hyper Gura Slasher, Daedalus Aya. What the fuck is this, man? And the classic Rocket Punch, where he literally just throw it. Then there's the Super Electrowave Tornado where he spins his enemy around before tossing them. And his finisher is Super Electrowave Spinner, a divine bomb spinning attack that ends the fight. He even made another version called the Reiko Kinta and managed to defeat Bamora's suit in slaughter mode. Well, it's because Kinta used his imagination. It's like Luffy's Gear 5th, but instead of having Luffy's body, he's actually technically stuck in Tengen's body. Then we have the Evil Eye. As a yokai, the Evil Eye can curse people just by looking at them, forcing them to do horrible things, like yeet themselves out from existence. Even his freaking underwear is a curse. The resentment of all those murders in the cursed house is contained within this brief. No one can... It's really hard to get serious about this shit. No one can pacify their anger, and the evil eye has inherited their last wish to kill all humans. On top of that, he can upload his memories directly into your brain just by making eye contact. He used this to Jiji, giving him the full backstory of his life. He's technically a guy that can give you freaking flashbacks without even asking it. And like most yokai, the evil eye can possess people and use their bodies as vessels. When he possessed Jiji, the evil eye got a major power upgrade, like broke and smash through walls and toss people around so easily. His kicks are so strong that you will need a wheelchair afterwards. They can shoot his grudge ball like a rocket. Yeah, grudge balls. I like the sound of that. They hit so hard they can even break your mom's, the tankiest balls. Yeah. Oh, and those grudge balls? They're like a hit-seeking missiles. They bounce off the wall and keep tracking until they hit, unless the evil eye cancels them. Also, after possessing Jiji, the evil eye unlocked the ability to summon and shape grudges into actual physical form. Whew. One of these is the cursed house. It's great for defense, but he can also trap enemies inside for close combat. It's nearly indestructible, though with enough raw force, it can be broken. By the way, the evil eye isn't easy control because it's a mountain yokai, and these guys are basically considered gods. That's why if an ordinary human gets possessed by one, they'll lose their minds. Their cells break down and they die. They only go for people with high spiritual power, like our boy Jiji, because he's the perfect vessel. But they manage to seal it, and the trick is to lock it inside an anatomy model called Taro. Jiji can switch into the evil eye every time he touches something cold, and return to his normal self by touching something hot. Know something hot? Yeah, your grandma's ass. Jiji got some OP moves too, like the Ha Wave. Jiji channels his chi into his hand and fire off an invisible energy blast. It knocks anything back, but it's more crowd control than a real damage. Think of it like the Force Staff, which just pushes the target. The thing is, just like the Force Staff, this move has an upgrade version, the Evil Gun. When Jiji activates the power of words by shouting Evil Gun, it turns into a massive energy beam. So, it's basically like a Kamehame wave. Next is the Fairy Tale card. This yokai uses cards that can erase a human's mouth, eyes, or ears. Even a pee-pee can be erased.
Even though it's microscopic.
To counter this, well, he's gonna technically destroy the card. If just one card is destroyed, he can easily regenerate it. But if two cards or more are taken out at the same time, he can't bring them back. Yet, those powers are nothing compared to his most broken ability, Pocket Dimension Creation. He can create pocket dimensions where he controls everything. He can also create portals between the real world and his dimension, trapping anyone who touches them with no way to escape unless he lets them out. And if the targets eat something from the pocket dimension, they get stuck there even longer. This guy can also control humans by just simply looking at him. Once he gets inside his target's head, he'll keep replaying their worst trauma and push them to the fullest limits until they straighten up, die from exhaustion. He used his skill on Unji, which is how the Fairy Tale card unlocked the full potential of Unji's Umbrella Boy powers. But if the target breaks eye contact or attack him, the mind control stops. Speaking of Unji Zuma, after being possessed by the Fairy Tale card, he becomes more powerful, flying around using shockwaves of aerial combat and firing off endless shockwave blasts. Aside from offense, he can also use his umbrella as a shield. Even without being possessed by the Fairy Tale card, his Umbrella Boy's power gives Unji serious strength and speed. He can also summon two umbrellas that shoot shockwaves, easily destroying anything in their path. The shockwaves let Unji fly by propelling himself through the air. Think of him like the anime version of Mary Poppins, except he has a pee-pee. He can also launch his umbrella for range attacks, strong enough to wipe out entire groups. However, Unji only gets 2 umbrellas per transformation. Once he uses both, he has to wait for a recharge. But even in his human form, bro is strong because he's a gangster. When the fairy tale card was defeated, Count Saint Germain obtained his powers. Aside from his speed, the Count has some serious extrasensory perception, kind of like Haki in One Piece. Even if he's blinded, like in his fight with the fairy tale card, he can still detect incoming strikes and dodge them with ease. He's also a powerful swordsman with a unique sword that lets him slot vials of yokai's powers he's collected over time. Once activated, he can use different abilities. Technically, this person is just Yuta. Like the jumping crone, which gives him insane jumping abilities, allowing him to create mid-air platforms to leap from one to another. Or the Bruck Hair Cutter, which boosts his sword cutting power, making it shoot black lightning with every swing. Or the Wota Taiga, which increases the density so much that he cracks the ground when he lands. He can also use a sealing technique that temporarily stops movement. The Count also carries a special knife that extracts yokai's power by stabbing them and drawing their blood. He can merge his knife with his sword, giving him even more yokai abilities to use in battle. After using his knife on the fairy tale card, the Count gained the power to control people's body parts with the cards. Next, we got the King of the Pirates, Turbo Granny. Trust me, she's not your average grandma. They call her the 100 km/h Granny because, well, that's how fast she is. Aside from her speed, she can possess people. Anyone who looks at the cursed person can get a hit with a roulette of heart attack, stroke, nosebleed, you name it. Just die already, motherfucker. The curse only breaks if the victim gets their dick back. Oh, balls! Yep, she can do that if she possesses you. So if the target can recover their D or exercise her, they can break free. Now I know what's the true meaning of the D.
These nuts. Got it!
And if you actually want her to possess you, well, all you need to do is suck Granny's suggy tits and you're in. Anyways, Turbo Granny can also fuse with other spirits, like the earthbound spirit crab, which gives her control over the area. She can also create giant versions of her head to corner people and raise hands from the ground to trap them. And she can summon spirits from nearby cemeteries to possess people and surround her enemies. At some point, Okarun inherited Turbo Granny's power, especially her speed. With his insane leg power, he can launch himself like a missile to attack enemies head on. He also uses his speed to help allies to dodge attack or make quick escape. Okarun can also leave his body and roam as a spirit, gaining the ability to fly and turn invisible to those without spiritual awareness. But if he stays in the spirit form too long, the cord connecting him to his body snaps and there's no way back after that. What's even crazier is that Okarun can zip through telephone lines, literally transforming and traveling like an electric current. By riding the wire's magnetic field, Okarun can teleport to a new location. But it's not always perfect. He might get ejected if the line is cut or if he stays in too long. He can even use this ability offensively, obliterating multiple enemies at once. Next up, Mr. Mantis Shrimp, aka Penny Weenie. I fucking love this shit. I know his name might suck, but he has another name, the Dovo Demon. And this guy is a skilled boxer strong enough to smash through walls and send enemies flying with one hit. After injected with a special Serpo energy drink from the alien's Penny Weenie, combined with a Serpo and transformed into a Mantis Shrimp-like alien called Double Demon Strong Style 24. In this transformation, Penny Weenie's strength get a massive boost when his underwear what did it say? Underwear? Underwater, my god! When his underwear, when his underwater, alright, great. His punches become 10 times stronger, allowing him to strike the water and send devastating shockwaves toward his enemy. The only problem is he can't stay underwater for too long because he doesn't have a gills. Next up are some of the weirdest one. Oh my god, I almost said the P word. The Serporian Serpo. These guys have some bizarre tool built into their bodies. Like the shalong here, it's a mechanical V that can be used for, well, you get the idea. Aside from the D, it can also turn into scissors to remove others' D, and amalgamation cable to fuse with other life forms. Sure, they might seem weird, but they're super smart. With advanced technology and knowledge, like they can create clones and build UFOs. The Serpo have some crazy psychic abilities too. They can move objects, send shockwaves creating force fields, and send some horny brainwaves to prepare humans for organ extraction. They've got some weird techniques like the six root. By extending their hands like Astro Man, they shoot shockwaves strong enough to blow critters in walls. And finally, there's an amazing zone. By combining their psychic powers, the Serpo can create a force field that pins down their target. However, once activated, they can't enter it themselves, but someone else can get inside and attack the targets. But there's one alien who stands out from the rest, and that is Rokuro. Thanks to Momo, he was deemed a defective product by the other Serpos. Since they're all clones, they're supposed to think as one, but his mindset has changed and he becomes woke. Rokuro got his nanoskin from Ludris during the Kur invasion. With some help from Mr. Mantis Shrimp, this gives him the power to shape his nanoskin into different forms for all kinds of uses. For example, Rokuro turned his nanoskin into a convenience store counter that fired particle beams from the scanner, giving him both protection and firepower. He also created jet propellers on his back and arms for extra mobility. Later, he teamed up with Okarun to whip up a huge heater that generates a whirlwind, helping to bring Umbrella Boy down from the air. But what happened when the Dovo demon combines with the Serpo and the Loch Ness monster, aka Nessie? You get this? Serpo Dovo Demon Nessie. Absolutely. Peak! Thanks to Nessie's gills, this monster can stay underwater for a long time. And just like Nessie, it can shoot super powerful water blasts that can penetrate an entire building. It has to absorb water first, like a water gun, though, meaning it can't fire non-stop and needs a quick break to recharge between shots. However, that's not a problem. With those Mantis Shrimp's arm, it punches far harder than the standard Dovo demon. But if it tries to punch like that on land, its own arms would be shuttered from the force. Now we have the Tsuchinoko. This massive worm can mess with people's mind by sending out psychic waves, making them feel completely hopeless and drive them to harm themselves. Makes you a sad boy. On top of that, the Tsuchinoko can also shoot electricity and paralyze its target, and it can spit a sticky goop that traps enemy in place, giving it the perfect chance to swallow them whole. And this goop is so cold it can even cool off a lava. But that's not all. This creature can also release toxic spores to poison and weaken its enemies. And to make things even crazier, it's almost impossible to take down. The Tsuchinoko can heal from almost anything, even if its head got chopped off. However, it's not unstoppable because it has one big weakness: touching grass. Sunlight. Yeah, kinda like a vampire. If it stays out in the sun too long, the Tsuchinoko will dry up and die. Next are the music room portraits. These portraits generate musical notes that explode on impact. Thanks to their conductor, the music room portraits can float around during fights, allowing them to keep their distance and attack from above. But if their conductor goes down, so does their levitation. They have several name techniques such as Symphony No. 6. Pastoral creates an illusion of petty field that traps enemy by sinking their feet into the ground. Explosive musical notes rain down to till the field, making escape even harder. Symphony number 9. Horus comes into play when they lose levitation. The portraits switch into an illusion of an opera house filled with a chorus, which bombards enemies with attack, while the music room portraits hide behind the giant guards. All of this might be an illusion, but they can actually kill you in reality. Next up is this monkey alien. This guy got insane strength. He can literally wreck entire buildings by just hitting a can. And for some reason, he's got this weird ability where he can turn people into cans. If someone who's been turned touch another person, they turn into a can too. If his target touches the can he's been smashing, they'll also end up as a can. This ability has a wide area of effect, about a 100-kilometer radius, and he calls it Territory Can. What the fuck, man? Why is it all can? And then there's the Flatwood Monster. This thing is so huge and it stomps. I mean, it uses powerful foot stomps and massive palm strikes to show off its strength. Like, it easily destroyed Momo's house with just a stomp. And a single palm strike can send someone flying. It also releases a poisonous mist, but this alien has a strange weakness. If its hands touches the ground during a fight, it will technically go bye-bye. But that didn't happen when it fought Momo because it kinda cheated.